Unit 5. Recording 3.
More than 60% of bank robberies are quickly solved by police, and typically the robberies follow these stages. Stage 1. The leaders of a gang of bank robbers, usually called the ringleaders, research and plan the raid. They visit the bank and work out the best way in. George Leonidas Leslie, an American bank robber from the late 19th century, sometimes broke into the banks he planned to rob first, without taking anything, just to check that he understood the building. Stages 2 and 3. The gang break into the bank and steal the money. Then they try to leave the scene of the crime without attracting attention. This is often more difficult than breaking in itself. In 1986, the so-called hole-in-the-ground gang in Los Angeles removed almost 100 cubic meters of earth below Hollywood to create tunnels, which they then drove through in order to escape after a bank robbery. Stages 4, 5 and 6. The gang must then try to evade arrest. Usually this doesn't last long, as most banks are in urban areas and there are lots of witnesses and CCTV cameras. The police usually catch the robbers within 24 hours and charge them with robbery. If the gang have used guns, it becomes armed robbery, which is much more serious. Stages 7 and 8. When the police and the prosecution service have gathered enough evidence and built a case, the gang go on trial in front of a judge and jury. If the robbers plead guilty, they usually get a more lenient sentence. If they plead not guilty, the sentence can be more severe. Stages 9 and 10. Ultimately, it's the jury who decides if the gang are guilty or not guilty. If the jury finds the robbers guilty, it's the judge's job to sentence them. He or she must decide how long the robbers must spend in prison. In one strange case, the robber found the sentence too lenient. James Verone of North Carolina was suffering from various health-related problems, but he had no insurance and couldn't afford the treatment. So instead, he walked into a bank and politely demanded $1. He then sat down to await arrest. His reasoning was that the only place he could get free health treatment was in prison. Unfortunately, his crime was not thought serious enough and he didn't get the length of sentence he needed to get the health treatment.